And welcome to the Daily Space video. Smasho here, coming at you from the Smash News Network, least busted name of news. Yes, we've got our Thanksgiving colors up here. Let us know what you're having for Thanksgiving in the comment section below. We're starting things out looking at the closest star. This is 193 angstroms to show the extended corona, as well as the SDO continuum imagery, making the sun very lively. And to make it even more lively, we've got some more composite imagery for you here. We'll show some different quadrants here. Here is the northwest. Some filamentary activity there. Some prominence is happening around the limb. We've also got the southeast. Some prominences rising up over the surface down there as well. And how about the northeast? So lots of filaments, lots of prominences, fairly low levels of solar activity here. Sunspot number has been largely stable. We'll be covering coronal mass ejections later in the video. Don't you worry. We'll let you know what the scenario is with CMEs. Again, one expected to arrive here late in the day tomorrow, early in the day on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving CME blast. It's going to be minor. It might be a KP5 moment. We'll have to see what happens. Here's your SDO colorized magnetogram. New active region rising up here. It looked like it might be a sunspot when we did show prep. By the end of the video, we should have enough data to let you know for sure. So a little bit of sunspot growth here in sunspot 3151. That's this group right here. Otherwise, somewhat stable there. We did have a major earthquake also that we'll get to here. First, volcanoes. Semeru continues to explode, produced a 13,000-foot ash plume. Popocatépetl exploding. Flight level 200, 20,000-foot ash plume, 22,000 ash plume over Sangay in Ecuador. 16,000-foot ash plume, flight level 160 over Revenador in that same nation. Sabancaya in Peru exploding, flight level 260. And let's talk earthquakes. Seismic activity level very high, as we've had another 7+ magnitude quake. There's where it happened, off the coast of the Solomon Island of Honiara. And it did actually induce some tsunami activity. We'll get to it here in a moment. That quake came in at 2:03 Universal Time this morning. And yes, tsunami.gov, if you think a tsunami may have occurred, stay tuned to tsunami.gov. It'll give you reports and so forth. And one of those reports indeed did show a tsunami. It was at a massive height of 1/10 of a foot. 0.3 meters or 1/10 of a foot. So it did produce a minor tsunami there. Again, check tsunami.gov if you're ever concerned about one. We usually do send out email alerts. That one came in at just the wrong time for us to do so. Those email alerts come from smashomash.com/smashteam. Scrolling up the list here, we did see a 5.2 off the coast of Oregon and a 5.5 in the Aleutian Islands. Those happened only about a half an hour apart from each other. The 5.2 happened at 15:42 Universal Time yesterday. We also had a 5.4 and a 5.1 at Kamchatka. Those are pretty large quakes if they are magmatic in nature. The 5.1 at a deeper location there, 37.8 kilometers on the 5.1. So there's that Solomon Island quake again at 2:03 Universal Time. Downgraded from a 7.3 to a 7.0. And of course, you'll see many aftershocks there. That is a big quake. Also a 5.0 south of the Fiji Islands there, so some major tectonic activity happening northeast of Australia. Vanuatu also had a 5.1. 5.1 at the Solomon Islands there, one of the many aftershocks that you'll see. And if we missed anything in the report, let us know in the comments. And let's get back to space as we show you the most spectacular imagery in the world. Help support the channel, but with a membership at the Smash Team, perhaps. Join at the gold or silver level. We just launched back in October of 2021, so it's barely a year old. And thanks to everybody who's been helping us out at smashomash.com/SmashTeam, increasing the probability that these videos will continue to exist, remain publicly visible, and free for all to view. It's the official funding of the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Smashomash.com/SmashTeam. There's a silver, there's a gold, there's even a bronze level. If you are unable or unwilling to open your cobweb-encrusted wallet, as we bleed followers on Twitter, all the way down to 333 now. You're invited to join. What? Too much wrong speak? Guess what? Max deboost, because guess what? Our fascism is better than your fascism. So make sure that you cite what a benevolent genius Elon Musk is. Oh my God. Thank you for fixing free speech, Elon. Slow clap. Free speech is totally fixed, folks. Totally fixed. And headed back to space, here is our 24-hour SDO video in 171 angstroms, the house favorite wavelength, showing the lower corona, one of the many species of ionized iron, followed by the SDO. And let's get into some more data. The 10.7 centimeter radial flux is only at 117 solar flux units. 117 is the number at the moment. There's the one-year graph to put it in context. The black line is the 10.7 centimeter radial flux. Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard not forecasting any sort of geomagnetic unrest or geomagnetic storms. I suspect they probably didn't see the CME that we showed on yesterday's video. If you didn't see that, check it out at youtube.com/smashomash/videos. Also, don't forget to check playlists, etc. Here's the last 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from space. It's our Geospace Magnetosphere movie showing magnetohydrodynamic pressure. The units for magnetohydrodynamic pressure are nanopascals. That's about 12 Earth diameters, and things have been quite calm and steady here over the past 4 hours. Looks like a little reduction there in the solar wind, indeed. Next, ground magnetic perturbations, Earth's magnetic moment from the ground for the past 4 hours. The units in this one are nanotesla. Change in nanotesla, delta B. Changes to the Earth's B field, the field that goes through the magnet, this magnet being the Earth. The last 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from the ground in magnetohydrodynamic pressure, nanotesla. Continuing on to the KP index. KP1 is a geomagnetically calm condition. And let's move to the real-time solar wind. We have indeed seen a small reduction here in the solar wind over the past 12 hours. Current conditions are pretty unremarkable here. 384 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. Solar wind density about 5.6 protons per cubic centimeter. Moving on to the magnetic data. There are your GOES magnetometers for the last 3 days. That arcjet moment is the GOES 16 maneuvering. Its thrusters create plasma, which can affect the magnetometers, because guess what? NASA is not hiding data. It's right there, so deal with it. Next, the top view ecliptic plane field plot. We're still seeing part of the north solar polar field hanging out at the north heliographic pole. As we wait for solar cycle 25 to progress in earnest, we're not even halfway to solar maximum, in my opinion. Until that magnetism leaves the North Pole, we're still waiting. Earth lies in a North Pole current sheet shown here in green. Let's move to the line of sight view, the line of sight field plot. I don't know why these need refreshing. They usually don't. Today they do, because reasons. So here's your line of sight field plot. The sun's B field shown here in blue. Again, the B field is the field that goes through the magnet. Solar polar fields in green for north, red for south. And let's move to coronal holes, one of the most important features of a solar cycle. Here's our line of sight coronal hole plot, and you can see a series of well-defined North Pole oriented coronal holes rotating in here in the northeast. And let's take a look at that in 211 angstroms from SDO. What happened? I must have failed. Oh my God, I've failed, folks. There's the SDO 211 angstroms wavelength. And those are all North Pole oriented coronal holes there. Large filament up here hanging out by the northwestern high latitude region. And let's move to sunspots. So sunspots, we do have that new named group as we talked about yesterday, 3151. It has grown a little bit since yesterday as well. Otherwise, mostly stable. Possible new sunspot. I think it is a new sunspot rising here over the northeast. We'll get to it later. Here's your SDO magnetogram. And let's switch to continuum. And let's zoom out for a full disk view. Next, we will be talking about energetic particles, solar flares, electron flux, and lots more. In the meantime, welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. In 2018, a crack YouTube unit was sent to social media prison for a crime we didn't commit. We promptly escaped a maximum security social media stockade to the internet underground, where we survive as producers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find the content despite the pathetic censorship by big tech, maybe you can hire the Smash Team. Yes, Max Deboosted is the Smash Team. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Apparently, citing facts is very controversial because it's 2022. Facts are so 2015. And pardon the pathetic censorship on the internet. It's part of the reason why we created our own website. Help support the channel via our links, such as the SureMed link that you'll find right there on the homepage. Bang, SureMed. Improve your health with a membership at the American Better Health Organization. You want to learn more about it? Click the About page. Some of our clients are loving it. I like the membership myself. Just click About. It'll tell you all about the American Better Health Organization, DBA SureMed. Visit the links if you want to improve your health and get all kinds of various discounts on everything from your drugs at the pharmacy to the dentist, vision discounts, also doctors by phone, virtual veterinarians. What more could you need, folks? We realize that your pet's health could affect your health. So check out the links below the video and on the homepage at smashomash.com. Energetic particles, we ain't got none. Goes proton flux flatlined here for weeks. Largest flare of the past 24 was this C7. A C7 flare happened at about 7:20 this morning. That's universal time. And here is some imagery of that. And that came from this new sunspot group down here, 3151. We'll let it play through one more time and then show another lively composite as we bring you the most detailed imagery of this closest star and the most comprehensive space weather you'll find in the known universe. Splentacular imagery there in 131 plus 171 angstroms. A great combination here. It shows some of the hottest and some of the coldest portions of the corona. 171 is quite cold, and 131 is quite warm, at least. Well, I mean, it's all hot compared to your temperature, but as far as coronal temperatures, 171 is on the cool side, 131 is the hottest wavelength, followed by SDO. Continuing on to our star chart. If you're up before dawn, you might see a sliver of a moon rising over the eastern horizon. As Mars sets toward the west, Cygnus is just rising in the northeast. And let's do a solar system forecast. Here's where things are now as we approach a new moon. Let's advance this 1 week. Keep in mind this imagery is not to scale. In other words, Jupiter and Mars are really, really far away. So there's where things will be in a week. We will have a crescent waxing moon. By then, let's take a look at some coronagraphs. So this is yesterday's coronagraphs. Okay. I don't know what's up with that. There are 13 frames from today. Looks like a CME is propagating right as we make the video. Could it be earthly directed? It's too early to tell. Let's take a look at the view from Stereo A and the Soho Lasco C3. So I don't see any Earth-directed CMEs at the moment, except the one that's already on the way here to arrive late in the day tomorrow or early in the day, maybe possibly until midday on Thanksgiving. We'll be monitoring that by looking at the real-time solar wind. So no confirmed additional Earth-directed CMEs at the moment. Let's move on to some 24-hour videos. Just some minor activity there. Not really a lot of good info from Stereo A, I might add. I mean, looking at Stereo A, there are some CMEs there. Again, I don't see any down the Earth pipeline. Here's a further zoomed out view. This is also got Venus and Mercury there over on your screen left, as they slowly make the corner and return to prograde motion. All your astrologers will have to dye their hair or something as a result of that. Continuing on to look at filaments. And there are still lots of filaments on the earthly facing portion of the solar disk. This means coronal mass ejection likelihood remains nearly 100%. Remember, folks, we don't need solar flares or even sunspots to see coronal mass ejections. We covered many of them and learned how to forecast them during the solar minimum period. That imagery is from El Teide, Spain's ground-based solar observatory. Again, likelihood of coronal mass ejections, nearly 100%. We'll be streaming video of the GOES 16 SUVI all day long on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SmashOmash. Here's the last 24 hours in SDO 304 angstroms wavelength. And let's look at some more current imagery at a wider field of view and a shorter time frame. This is the GOES 16 SUVI for the past about 2.5 hours. And we've been seeing these weird oddities happening here. Not exactly sure what's causing that. It could be cosmic ray strikes on the GOES 16, but could be some kind of electron flux also. The GOES 16 is at like a 22,500 mile altitude. Not exactly sure what's up with that. I've never seen that one before. That's the last about 2.5 hours on the GOES 16 SUVI. Its great wide field of view is fantastic at showing these prominences. You can see one possibly in the process of ejecting there in the western quadrant. And let's continue on to our bonus features segment. So satellite charging hazards here on the satellite's community dashboard showing up as nada. No charging hazards there. Smooth sailing for satellites. The GOES electron flux here at kind of low levels. There's the NOAA forecast expecting a little uptick in the electron flux. I would tend to agree with that. There's the 1-year chart to put the electron flux in content. That's a greater than 2 mega electron volt electron fluence. And let's take a look at the F ionosphere layer. So this layer is one slice of the atmosphere. The upper thermosphere here, around 300 kilometers of altitude, is where the F layer is located. And here's the vibrational frequency. We're seeing massive low-frequency anomalies here all around the world. Gigantic low-frequency anomalies there. You'll see when we show the anomalygram if this is not clear enough for you. So that's the vibrational frequency. Here is the anomalygram. That's anomaly in megahertz from a 30-day median. You can see some substantial anomalies there in the Pacific Ocean. Some enduring ones that are just hanging out there as low-frequency anomalies. Also low-frequency anomalies across the equator and northern hemisphere. Lots and lots of red on the map there. Those are all low-frequency anomalies. Again, it's anomaly in megahertz from a 30-day median. High frequency shown in blue, low frequency shown in red. Here is the latest image. That's 11:45 Universal Time ionogram, 11:45 Universal Time anomalygram. Continuing on to our total electron content forecast. We're seeing very high electron flux here over North America, indicating high likelihood of major GPS errors. And we typically do see less organized electron contents when we have low levels of electron flux. We see more organized electron contents when we see high levels of electron flux. And so as you could forecast by watching our channel previously, you would know that those GPS errors are more likely during coronal hole high-speed streams. What that's showing is the free electrons in between your GPS satellite and your handset, up to about 12,500 miles, the inner portion of the outer Van Allen belt. Here's the latest image from the Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. There's the total electron content from them. Here's your latest solar intensitygram and latest solar magnetogram. Again, I think we do have a new sunspot rising up here. Let's check. And I do see a tiny umbra there, so that is indeed a sunspot. Confirmed. Little tiny sunspot rising there at the high latitude. In the north, besides that, things have been largely stable here. Some growth in this sunspot down here. That has been the major flare actor. It did produce a C7 flare. And let's take a look at one more series of images from SGO before we switch to meteorology. So here is yesterday plus today from the GOES. Not the GOES. It's the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. 3 species of iron there. That is Iron Star. And before we move to meteorology, let's pause for station identification. Thanks for tuning into the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. As we cite fact after fact, apparently that's a very controversial thing. Hey, welcome to 2021, folks. Facts are so controversial. Oh my God, what are you going to do with all the facts? It's very dangerous. Have you seen our Hemp Lucid link? You can find it below the video, as well as on the homepage. There's a save 10% coupon there. There are our products, tons of products available there. Shop by solution, like sleep solutions. What about focus mushroom gummies? All sorts of stuff available for you there, folks. The Delta 8s are interesting, to say the least. I think Smash staff can endorse those. And she's been sharing a bunch of the products on Twitter. Also, lip balms there. How about some full-spectrum CBD lip balm in a 3-pack? It's only $11.37. Good times. Again, visit our links. Support the channel that way. And today's featured product is Face of Evil, Tony Fauci Fraudster. Yes, we've been advertising the bath mat, of course. We've got one of those. Check our Instagram for a little ad about that. Instagram.com/smashomash. Because the face of evil always shows itself to you, folks. The face of evil always shows itself to you. And then if you are foolhardy enough to follow the face of evil, then that's on you. I don't know why people are still in denial of these facts. Just some more facts for you. Again, my favorite is the Tony Fauci bath mat because I like placing my feet on the face of evil on the daily basis. I guess it might be a little bit ironic to have masks featuring the face of evil. Turn your face into a face of evil by putting the face of evil on your face. Tony Fauci. Fraudster. The definition of the word fraud means intentional misrepresentation of material facts. It's just a basic definition there, folks. Fraud. It's what's coming out of his face. If you enjoy the content, press like, press subscribe, press share. Tell your friends and foes about the content. There are some things that we just refuse to not talk about. So if you don't like it, sorry about that. We've got cosmology segments. We've got smashomash.org presents The Sun. We've got driving, riding, and pro tips. Driving, riding, and pro tips. We've also got do one thing segments, because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Next, we'll get into the realm of meteorology. I understand temperatures have been rising a bit in the U.S. as we get this little early winter cold snap. Things have been increasing in temperature here, thank goodness, because it was way too cold, unseasonably cold in large portions of the country. And let's take a look at the jet streams of the eastern world. So there you have the eastern world's jet streams. That's what's going on in the 250 hectopascal winds. Here are the surface winds. A series of lows there in the North Pacific, which that might have you scared and spooked. Oh my God, are you scared and spooked? Look at this, folks. Oh, noes. It's two lows and a high pressure nearby. It means we're all going to die. We're all going to die. Here are the surface winds of the western world. Here are the jet streams of the western world. We're going to have some major kinks coming back to the jet stream here in a moment. We'll get to it. We've got a jet stream forecast for you. Here are the jet streams of the central world. And these are the surface winds. Did I show the surface winds of the Americas? I don't remember. Let's continue on. Here are clouds and fog over the western world. It's the Americas. Here's what's going on. It's 3.9 nanometer radiation from the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Suite. Here's our weather.gov map. If your county's lit, click your county. Major gale warnings there. Some big waves rolling in at Hawaii. It's time to hit the pipeline. The bonsai pipeline. Yes, I am a wave chaser. One day, I will chase waves in earnest. We've got some winter weather advisories in the Pacific Northwest. So first of all, here's your jet stream forecast, showing you some advanced stuff here. This is the 72-hour GFS 250 millibar wind speed forecast. You can see a huge kink coming to the U.S. there in the jet stream. And here's what it's going to bring in terms of snow. That's the 72-hour GFS accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. You can see some major snows there coming to Washington and Idaho, also Wyoming. Expecting another major coating. Large portions of Montana, even Texas, expected to receive some snow there. 72-hour GFS accumulated snow depth change in inches. Here's your pressure and precipitation forecast, and some heavy storms there expected to form in places like Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. Major storms there. Those could produce damaging wind, hail, and even tornadoes. Stay on alert for that. That's a huge low pressure system forming there over land, especially Louisiana and Mississippi. Going to get kaplastered here in the coming 3 days. Next, here is your pressure forecast. We're going to advance this. This is the European model for pressure. You'll indeed see this powerful low forming here. Barely even saw it. Strong low there in the North Atlantic, also south of Alaska. That's windy.com. They got a great mobile app. Check it out if you haven't done so. Next, looking at lightning here from the NASA GOES Lightning Mapper. Looks like no terrestrial strikes over the U.S. Let's look at a real-time lightning map briefly. And had a strike there near the Florida Panhandle. That was within the last hour, at least. Next time you hear thunder, check out lightningmaps.org. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced thunder snow. Next, looking at vertical motion of water droplets in the air column. Ground-based systems known as Doppler radar. There is the U.S. Doppler from radar.weather.gov. We'll focus on the lower 48 as we close things out. Oh my God. This is a test. This is the test of the Smash News Network broadcasting system. If this had been a real video, it would be full of facts. Oh wait, it is a real video, and it is really full of facts. Sorry, folks. Civilization is not ending as much as you would like it to. It's just not. Here's shortwave radiation showing clouds and fog. Here is water vapor. You can see that moisture moving in from Canada and the Pacific. And here's a recap. Doppler radar. Some showers hitting Houston. Shortwave radiation showing clouds and fog. It's cloudy over most of the Gulf. Water vapor showing all the water vapor, not just that which is condensed onto clouds. And thanks for tuning in to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We'll see you soon. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-O-Mash, signing out. And may that solar wind be at your back.